got a really cool Christmas card for you, and it's kind of a buy one, get one free, which I'll explain a little bit more later on to you. But this is the basic card that we're going to be making. I've got a couple items here we're going to be using. Some masks. I'm using the Flourishing Hearts, and I've actually got that one ready to go. I'm also using the Wavy. And I've got the Splendid Swirls from the Finishing Touches, as well as the pierced flags that we'll be using for our sentiment. Also have the Classic Poinsettia. I apologize, I don't have the packaging for that. But we're going to get started right in. So what I've done is I've taped the mask to a piece of ruby red card, and I've just put some removable tape around the side. Now I usually will tape opposite sides and then opposite sides. So I've got one more piece to go here, and I like to tape it all the way around. I just find that's just so much easier to do. So we're going to be using the Berry Red Sparkle Texture Paste. So let's take the lid off, and you can just see all the different gorgeous glitters in that. It's so pretty. I use a plastic palette knife for this, and the trick, I think, is to get it on there quick as you can. So I start in the corner, and I just spread it across. Get all that area in there. Put a little bit more down. Spread that across. There we go. And don't worry about putting on too much extra, because we will take any extra off and put it back into our container. There we go. Pull that across down into that last corner. Okay, so now I can start to remove some of the extra bit along the way. Like I said, you can put that right back into your container so it doesn't get wasted. So you use a lot less than it looks like. That's pretty good. Okay. So now I'm just going to start to peel back the tape that I put on. And I'm just going to put that right into my bin. There we go. Do opposite sides. Let's do this one first. And as you peel back this side, be sure and hold down the mask. There we go. And I lift it up carefully. Peel it back from here. Ever so gently. There we go. Okay, now the only thing you need to know with a mask that you've been using Sparkle Texture Paste through is you want to be sure and clean it. So you can see how pretty that looks. So I'm going to set this aside to dry, and we're going to clean the mask up. Now if you're at home, you can just rinse this under the tap, no problem. But we are going to take a Grime Boss and just make sure to get all of that glitter on there. We don't want that to dry at all on our mask. There. And I'm going to use a piece of kitchen roll just to wipe extra bit off. Make sure I've got it really nice and tidy. Because any of that sparkle texture paste will dry on there and cause a problem to that mask, and you'll have to almost chip it away once it's dry. So make sure that's good and tidied up. Okay, that'll work. And I'm going to just clean my palette knife, make sure that's good and clean, and set that to the side. So once it's dry, this is what you'll have. Now this is a beautiful red tone-on-tone piece. I love the way this looks. We're going to use this to cut our poinsettia out of. So I'm going to do 2 cuts with it. Pop that into place. A little bit of tape. Let me bring my plates in over here. Pop that down. Run it through. go. Oop. Pop that first one out. There we go. So I've got a beautiful poinsettia that just cuts across all of that design. I'm going to cut it one more time, right down into this corner. Put that in place. And it's a fairly thick piece there with the sparkle texture paste on it and the card. So I'm just going to run it back through, make sure it's cut nicely. Gently pop it out. And take that off. Careful. There we go. So now you've got this piece. And you remember how I said you get kind of a buy one, get one for this? Once you've done your piece of sparkle texture paste and you've got this beautiful piece, why not use that to create another card? And all I've done is I've cut the mini snowflake background and seated it behind those cutouts and put a couple little dazzlers in the center. I just think that makes a stunning use of your leftover card. So you can get 2 cards for the price of 1 with this, which I love. Okay, so now I've got my poinsettia. I'm just going to do a little bit of forming with that. And I'm going to just kind of pinch it around my finger on both of these. And we'll put some of the dries clear glue in the middle. Just give it a little bit. I'm going to let that sit for a second and put a little bit there too. We'll put a dazzler in there. Now, the other thing I've done is I've created my other background using the wavy mask, exactly the same technique as I did with the poinsettia. And I've done one out of white and one out of black. Now, the black one was the original one I did, and you can see how that looks. But I thought, let's do it with white this time and just see what the difference looks like. So perhaps you don't care for the darker background, you want something a little bit lighter. This will give you a chance to see them both next to each other. So I'm going to just pop that into place between some piercing and a little bit of mounting foam. That'll be my background right there. So now I think we can take and move our poinsettia, just offset it ever so slightly, and I'm going to give this a second to set up. With that extra glitter, you definitely want that to really set up so it dries together. So I'm going to pop that right there with a pin, holding it in place for a few seconds. We'll do a little bit more cutting while that's drying. So I've stamped my Season's Greetings, and I'm going to cut that out with the pierced flags. Pop that into place. Just center it right about like that. Put a little piece of tape. In fact, we can even put a second piece of tape on the top there. Really secure it. Bring my cutting mat over. There we go. Run that one through. Now this particular pierced flag has no back cutting piece to it. And the reason I did that is because if you want to extend it the other direction, you can do that. So when you're just using it like this, what you'll need to do is just nip it away with your scissors. Simple as can be. Okay, pop that back into place. And I've done a little bit of a matting and layering here with the black. So let's use a little bit of our dries clear glue and then we'll trim it. Pop that just right down, centered so the black mat shows all the way around. I'm going to nip away the extra bit there. So bring my card back over, a little bit of mounting foam on here. And remember, because you have a glittered background there, you want to add some glue just to make sure it's nice and stuck down. So I'll put that right about there. And then let's see if our flower is good and dry now. And I'm going to pick up a little 8mm black dazzler for the center there. That's pretty, I like that. Okay, gorgeous, gorgeous flower. Do a little bit of what I call seeding with some white tulle. I've got a sticky dot I'm going to put that down with. Pop that right down next to that. I've cut a couple of the Splendid swirls. They're both left and right facing, so we can put those on. Have them kind of coming up and around. like that. Another one coming down this way. Put that in place. And some black jute. I've just tied a couple pieces together. It's a really pretty additional accent for your flowers and whatnot, so I'm going to pop that into place there. And then finally, my really pretty poinsettia flower. Now the glue still needs to dry a little bit on that, but it'll dry clear. Pop that right into place. So pretty. And you can, like I said, you can give these leaves a pinch and really form them if you like. Really nice like that. So when that dries, that'll be absolutely gorgeous. So we have what looks like the black version, the white version, and the buy one get one free version. So many cards out of today's video. Hope you've enjoyed that, and you'll look for us again soon.